Hello, I'm John Dumke, the president of Rejoice Today Ministries. What would you do if you were given that bit of information that you're going to die at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? Some people would go upstairs and cry. Some people would gather family and friends. Some people simply wouldn't believe it. But I want to tell you a story about a man who knew he was going to die at 3 o'clock the next afternoon. Now, he'd known it for some time, but when an event is going to happen sometime in the future, it isn't quite as important to think about as it is when it's imminent. Well, what did he do? Let me tell you the story. He gathered his best friends around him. He told them it was going to happen. They didn't believe him. They tried to talk him out of the thought. And then he sent two of his friends into town to find a nice place where they could have a final supper. They found it. They all joined together and they sat and they ate and they enjoyed and they had bread and food and wine. And during that period of time, he told them, "I'm going to die." They wouldn't believe him. One of the members left the supper to get a hold of the authorities to make sure it happened. Now, what happened next is most interesting. He took the rest of his friends to a garden and he said to 8 of them, "Sit here by the entrance to the garden and watch." The other 3 started with him to a place he called the praying place. Why did he have the other 3? Because the horror of what was about to happen to him overcame his humanity and he couldn't do it by himself. So he had his 3 friends help him. When they got to the place that he called the praying rock, he stopped and he said, "You stay here and pray. I'm going to go further." And he prayed to God for everything that was within him to please take this cup of bitterness from my lips and let's do what we need to do a different way. Well, after an hour, he came back to check on his friends. They were sleeping. He said, "What are you sleeping for? Do you know what I'm going through here?" They said, "Oh, we got so tired." He went back and prayed a second time for an hour. He came back, they were still asleep. He went back again and prayed for another hour, looking for deliverance. After the 3rd hour of praying, he came back and he's, "Well, sleep on now, it's over." They began walking toward the entrance and they were met by the arresting officials and the one friend who had led them there. He said, "If you're going to arrest me, do so, but leave these to go their way." Then he was taken to an illegal trial. He was pronounced guilty. He was beaten as only the Romans knew how to beat someone, almost to death, and taken out and killed, actually crucified on a cross on a hill. He had 2 other people, one on each side, who were being crucified at the same time. Now, an interesting thing occurs. He was crucified at 9 o'clock in the morning, and from 9 till 12, he simply suffered. This was an opportunity for him to give up and ask his Father to send somebody to deliver him. He didn't do that. He suffered. At 12 o'clock, all of the sins of the world were cast on him. And the Father said, "It is too gruesome to look at. I will shut off the sun so no one can see him." And for the next 3 hours, the sun did not shine. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this is the day of preparation for the Jewish people, the time when they killed their lambs to shed the blood to cover their sins for the year. At exactly 3 o'clock he died. He was the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world to cover the sins of the whole world, from Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden to the last person to live on this earth. I'd like to tell you the rest of the story. But may I suggest that you order or pre-order my book, The Human Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. It will be published soon. The publisher has priced it at $14.95 plus shipping and handling. You can pre-order now for $13 and we'll pay the shipping. Please check below to place your order with credit card or with check. Have a great day.